This is Southampton. I love this city. I grew up in a town not far away, and I spent many years in my adult life living and working here, and it's a great community. Fantastic people. I've got very fond memories of my time here in Southampton. And Southampton it's a gateway city, and it has an influence that reaches around the world. And these are the old city walls, and beyond these walls is the water, and it's a park known as Mayflower Park. Around 400 years ago, a group of people walked past these walls and through the tunnel out to the park, and they embarked on an adventure. An adventure that was fueled by this desire to explore new possibilities and territories, and ultimately to create new communities. The journey took 66 days. People were sick regularly, it was cramped, it was damp, it was dark. When we read of this story in the history books, it often sounds wonderful and exciting, but in reality the conditions were horrendous. I wonder what it was inside of them that moved them to take that adventure and embark on that voyage. Their faith, adventurous spirit, and openness to risk changed their world, and inadvertently changed the world. There's a lot we can learn from the Pilgrims. The Bible is full of stories of people who, like the Pilgrims, took steps of faith and braved everything. Jesus invited people to take similar steps, to follow him, to move, not to join a religion, but a movement and an adventure. That invitation is still available today. Well, you probably know how the story of the Mayflower turned out. They made it. 66 days later, they arrived here in Plymouth, Massachusetts. For the Pilgrims, the spirit of adventure led them across the water. A combination of fleeing the threat of the King of England and a desire to explore and create, key elements of being a pilgrim, was not over. Landing in eastern Massachusetts in late November meant arriving at the beginning of winter with conditions far colder than they were used to. During the first winter, half of the people died. It would appear being a pilgrim is not an easy choice. They met some of the indigenous people who extended hospitality. Assistance offered by the Native Americans was a key component in surviving the first winter, as they showed them how to grow corn and the best hunting spots. Sadly, reading on in history, we know that colonialism was not without cost. Later generations of settlers did not treat the indigenous people well. This atrocity is not exempt from the story of US history, although sometimes untold. Eventually, they began to build a new life as settlers. They built houses, churches, gathering places, and they shared meals together. I wonder, do you see yourself as a pilgrim, as an adventurer prepared to brave the unknown? Don't get me wrong, not everyone should move across the world. For some, ending a dysfunctional relationship or merely changing the way we see the world is a big step and requires a huge amount of courage in itself. I believe the spirit of adventure is in us and calls us and dares us and asks us to make decisions and to explore and to create, and ultimately at times to take risks. The question is, will we listen to that cry, and will we act on it?